on item number 20, dealing with preferred medical, dental, and prescription benefit plan document and administrative services agreement with Blue Shield in California. Ron?
Ron Grassi, Director of Human Resources and Risk Management. This is an item, and I went back to my records, and I don't believe that the board ever approved our plan. So I'm bringing this to you for, number one, approve our health benefit plan. That actually plan has been with Blue Shield in effect for now since January of 2007. But we've also, because of favorable circumstances in our actuarial report, we'd like to add some additional benefits. The additional benefits are under proposed benefits, and it would add some preventive care benefits which are not currently in the plan. I do need to make one adjustment to this after meeting with a couple of the bargaining units. The annual mammograms and pap smears, which are reflected, I don't know if you can get to it, but it's on page 16 of the comprehensive preferred medical plan. Some of those benefits are currently in our plan right now, and they're listed as covered benefits for preferred providers and also for non-preferred providers. And the intent of making these changes was not to take any benefits away from the current employees. So I'll be bringing back this to you with modifications that the mammograms and pap smear test, along with the osteoporosis screening, the services that are currently in the plan being paid for at a non-provider rate would also continue to be there, but any of the new benefits that are currently not in the plan would only be provided through the preferred provider. And the idea for that is to be moving people and our patients to be using the preferred providers, because there is substantial cost savings to the plan when you're using the preferred providers, because those doctors and medical facilities have contracted rates, and there is substantial savings for doing so. So other than that, after through meet and confer process, that's the only issue that came up. And so if the board is in agreement, I'd like to make those changes and possibly bring it back for the 8th.
But Ron, you said because we have a lot of a substantial amount of money in our fund for this, is that we're able to add these additional...
We're able to add these benefits at no additional cost.
What is the rate going to be this next year to employees? Is it going to remain the same, or...?
It will remain this. Actually, the next item actually talks about the actuarial report.
Did you consider a reduction in the rates to employees as opposed to some additional services?
The general consensus through the meet and confer process, and we're also meeting with the insurance committee, which is combined of bargaining units, is they would like to see some wellness benefits put into the program. So currently right now things like immunizations are not covered. We're giving the free flu shots through the health department, but other than that,
well, my concern is we add these extra services this year when things are okay. Right. Let's say next year they're not okay, like we haven't had this happen since I've been here. So this is an oddity. You know, I'm concerned about adding things that are going to be additional cost in a year that's good when it's not the typical year. When instead it's like adding the services that later on will cost us more money, and then we have to cut those services back.
Well, on the actuarial basis, we looked at it, and the actuarial doesn't look at just 1 year. They go out and they do projections and look and see how much money is in there. And a few years ago, we were forced to make changes to our health plan, where we increased deductibles and made changes to the plan. At that point, we were in pretty much crisis mode, because we were spending more money and more expenses than what we were bringing in as far as revenue. At this point, as a result of the changes that we made, we switched to now be using the Blue Shield of California network, and also as our preferred providers. We changed administrators.
But I think we can look forward, Ron, to seeing, just like every other industry along, as the cost of everything has gone up, skyrocketed, then the amount of cost for services later on reflects those increased costs that lags behind. And that's my concern is all these people paying more for gas, they're paying more for medical equipment, they're paying more for medical supplies, they're paying more for everything, and they're paying more for their electricity to run their facilities, et cetera, et cetera. And so all those costs are going to somehow be reflected back in the cost to a medical program. And my concern is if we expand the services, that is eventually within a year or two going to catch up, and then it's going to come back to do that. Where is if we have a savings in the program, maybe we ought to give it back to the employees and let them enjoy those benefits in a period of time when they could use a little extra income, perhaps, to pay for the pain at the gas pump and pain at everything else. So.
Well, in reality, the majority of the health plans paid for by the county.
Well, we surely couldn't use those funds, could we?
I would say 60 to 70% of the employees are Plan 3, which has no cost to the employee as all. And by adding wellness benefits, actually in the long run, what it does do, it does save the county money because you're encouraging people to go for annual exams and you're detecting diseases, and as prevention treatment, you can actually catch things at an earlier stage, and what it does in the long run, what it'll do for you, and it will save the plan money because if the people are going to the doctor and getting well checkups, they can detect cancer earlier, and a lot of the diseases and illnesses that do cost us a lot of money at an earlier stage, and the earlier time you catch that in the long run does save money. So this, yes, doing the additional wellness does cost the plan more money right now. This would be an appropriate time, in my opinion, to do it because we are doing well, but it does take a couple of years before you reap the benefits of having a good wellness program.
Okay. Any other questions or comments, Ron? And what is your thoughts?
Bring it back on consent.
Any objection? Okay, thank you, Ron.
Okay, I'd just like to request, give me 2 more weeks on the 8th, just because I can make these changes, run it back out to the bargaining units.
That's fine.
And put it on consent at that point.
It comes back to us.
Stay right there, Ron.
Okay.
Next item up is item 21, and this is regarding the health, dental, vision actuarial report.
Okay, actually, this maybe should have come first, but this is the actuarial report that was conducted by Milliman, and it reiterates what I mentioned earlier, that we are in a healthy position right now. The medical plan is doing very well as far as the funding goes. The dental plan, the dental and the vision plan, they're recommending an increase. However, there is a lot of discontent with the dental and vision plan because of such limited benefits right now. So on this, what I'd like to do is on the dental and vision, I'm going to work with the consultants and see what other benefits are out there, what other plans can we do. Some of the complaints that I've heard is that vision and eyeglasses are only available every 24 months. And for people that are wearing glasses, really they need to be getting a checkup at least once a year. Not necessarily the frames have to be replaced every year, but the lenses possibly should be replaced every year. Also, the dental benefits are limited. They're limited to $1,000. We have a contract with DHS for our HMO dental services. However, DHS right now doesn't have a whole lot of facilities available, so I'm going to be doing some research to see what else is available, what other vendors are available out there in this arena. So I'm not recommending any increases until we're able to see if we can improve some of the benefits first.
So, Ron, did you look at perhaps the money that you were saving on the other side, putting it on this side?
We're going to have to balance each other. Yeah, they do. The funds they're separate funds, but we are allowed balancing act here. And if we need to transfer money from one fund to the other, we can do that.
All right. Any questions? There's no action required on this.
No, it's just for your information is to accept the actuarial report.
All right, then we'll consent that. Before you leave, Ron, I wanted to go back to the last item just to comment, and if the board didn't look at it, there's a tab in this presentation under 2007 Performance Guarantee. In the first sheet in there is a chart that talks about the guarantees, and what I'd like to look at or mention is the average speed to answer, the turnaround time, procedural accuracy, and financial accuracy. Those numbers are really strong. And I've heard a lot less comment about issues, not getting resolved and whatever than we have had before. So I'd like to say, that in that sense, it's been a lot better.
And actually, even though these numbers are strong, they didn't quite meet what their guarantees, what he promised us.
Right,
so if you flip the next page, we did get a $45,000 check back from Blue Shield, which is something I don't ever remember seeing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, one of Joe's favorite things, more furniture for the APCD. Item 22. This is for your new